Hey, what's up YouTube? Skybadger here, and we are back on day 10, and the day 10. So, where we're at on day 10 is pretty sure I've fallen back out of the top 10. Yeah, I have, down to 15, and we're not going to climb anytime soon. In the largest economy though, we sit in a very healthy third place, so that is really good to see, and hopefully we can really extend and push out that lead. So, that's really good to see. We're in 15th place, but we have an economy that is competitive with second place, and that's 100 VP points difference. That's almost 2 whole countries worth of points different. So what that means is we are in a very competitive position at the moment. Sure, we are not the biggest player, however, we have the economy to keep up with the biggest player. Land doesn't mean shit. It's easier to defend. In this case here, I'm in a better position than they are. I have the economy to produce an army that is of similar size, but I only have to defend a smaller country, which is perfect, and this is the position you want to be in at this point. Less land, bigger army, put up a stronger defense, or an even stronger attack. So that's awesome to see. However, we have got a few things we need to work on our economy. However, now's really not the time, and now's a bad time to be working on our economy because we're just going to war with some new players. However, we'll quickly cover off the economic side of things and before we get into the other stuff. So, as we can see, our food production is not all that great. We are spending 2,000 on upgrades, so that includes the running of barracks. And if we were to disable those, we'd be able to lift our food production quite a bit. I am lifting that through the upgrades of these two industrial centers, but these upgrades are actually just to help produce ships faster. At the same time, our goods is in a good position, however, I'd want to keep increasing that. Sadly though, devoting resources towards increasing that is a bit of a challenge at the moment. However, going forward is something that we are going to need to do. Manpower, sweet, not that we could do much about that anyway. Metal, we're happy with this. Metal is at a good point at the moment, sitting just below 1,000. I'm happy with where this is at, and I can increase this pretty easily if we need to. Oil's not a problem at the moment. We have a lot of oil producing provinces, and increasing our rate of oil production as we increase the size of our Navy and Air Force shouldn't be an issue, as long as we make sure we always have a reserve that we can spend on increasing our production. Rear is okay. At 4,000 a day, we're nearly at our goal of 5,000. However, once again, I'm running out of money to spend on these industrial complexes, but we have a lot of provinces, so we have the opportunity to really increase our rate of production. However, we just don't have the time to work on it. So I mean, if we come into here and we have a look at our resource producing provinces, heaps of opportunities for improvement. We can definitely make a lot more out of our rear, however, just not the opportunity. Same down here with our oil, is we have plenty of opportunities to increase our production. We can still completely fit these out with industrial complexes, and all these down here need infrastructure up to level 3. In our metal producing provinces, similar issue, and in our food, pretty much the same again. Our top 2, our core producing facilities, are nearly getting towards max, so we obviously need to get the industrial centers up to 5 and the infrastructure up to 3 as well, but with the port as well, they're really pumping out a good rate at the moment. So that's what's happening there economically. Militarily, is that even a word, militarily? In terms of our armed forces, at the moment we're not actually producing all that much. We're putting, I can start that next interceptor. This will make things look slightly better. We come down here, we can come into here, and we can, where is interceptors? Interceptors are in the air tab, and they're right there. Jesus, I've been playing that game for so long, and I still struggle to find interceptors. Cut that part. So anyway, so if we have a look at what we're building, we can see that we are building our 3 cruisers. We just finished our first one, and this is moving into position at the moment. We need to build one more cruiser. We'll probably build a few more, and then after that we can switch over and start producing battleships as soon as these are ready. So we have a look in the research tab, you can see that we are now working on a carrier, and we already have battleships, so we're in a good standing there. We're just getting interceptors at the moment just to stay competitive, as an air force is really important. I might cut back soon and get naval bomber level 1, because for our build that's going to be really important. We're also still working on interceptors and naval bombers, so that's what we're building at the moment in terms of troops. Construction wise, level 3 ports, and level 3 airbase. This is so I can start construction of paratroopers that look like they could be very useful in the coming days. So that's the plan right there. If we just come in and we have a look at what's happening down here, we can see that we got a reveal all on Spain. You're seeing Spain has a lot of troops in his southern territories. If we move up here, he has very few in the north. He does have some, but not many at all. Did I see something over there? At the same time, we can see that Yugoslavia weirdly has a lot of troops on this island. So that is something we are going to have to keep an eye on. I suspect the Europeans are going to try to head south. So what we're going to do to help avoid and make sure we're prepared is we're going to send our planes back out on scouting missions. Now I pulled them back in overnight because I didn't want anything to happen to them while I was sleeping and could not watch over them. So what we're going to do now is we are just going to spread them back out and get them back flying in the patrol zones. That way we can keep a good eye on what is happening around and off the coast of our core. We can't spot the submarines. Luckily, we already got the intel for that. But what we can do is make sure there's no troop movements in the immediate area. So that is what we're working on at the moment. I might actually send this one down here, do a patrol over the Gibraltar Strait, considering we've moved our subs back. So we've moved our subs back to protect our ports, and we've also put destroyers in most of our ports so they can group up with the cruisers when they're done. They can then escort the cruisers to safe water in the east. Now, I talked about war earlier on, and obviously there's still no war here. We're at peace with Spain, peace at Yugo. The war is over here. So we started a new war against the Middle East, and we started this yesterday by sinking pretty much all of Saudi Arabia's destroyers that were in the Mediterranean and in the Red Sea. And that goes off to a good start. They can no longer challenge us on the sea in the area. They still have a really powerful air force. They can challenge us in the skies. However, at this point, they're not going to be able to stop us from crossing over. With the cruisers that North Sudan is assembling, these have massive air power 8. Will deal 8 damage against enemy aircraft, and with the interceptors he has, there's no way they're going to stop us from landing troops on the other side. So we are going to get troops across. Nothing they can do about it. It's just making sure we then hold that foothold. So that's what's happening at the moment. Now, my only contribution at this point has been sinking enemy destroyers. I was sending troops across to the region to help invade. However, my troops have been drawn back to my border up here. Actually, that reminds me, yes, tactical bombers are also out patrolling to help defend in this region. So, we got another tactical bomber done. I might send this actually to do some patrols out here, see what we can see. Awesome. So that's really all that's happening for me at the moment. Obviously, we no longer have shared map with Iraq because we're at war. And yeah, Australia. What's happening down there? That looks like a combat marker. Okay, finishing off Queensland. Yeah, there's really not much else happening, and nothing really much has developed from where we were yesterday. Looks like Turkestan's a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, Turkestan's joining in on the fun. He's sending troops down into the Middle East to also help out Persia, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. So he's sending troops down here. I think that's really about it. Not really much more to say. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.